Hey guys, welcome back to Clash with Corey. Today we're going to be going over a Witch Slap variant at Town Hall 9. It's the Queen Walk Witch Slap. We're also going to be taking a look at, first of all, we're going to be taking a really in-depth look at this stuff, exactly what you're looking for, what side of the base to come from, how to get through the core, how to pick which troops you're going to use on the sides. So this is kind of going to serve as a Witch Slap guide as a whole, because you definitely don't have to use a Queen Walk with this strategy, but on the right base, it can be a very powerful strategy to use. So let's get into those right now.
Nerf this!
So first we're going to talk about pathing your army through the base and spells that are required to do that. Pretty standard with Witch Slap armies is going to be 2 jumps. Now you don't have to bring 2 jumps if you don't need them, but it is usually required to move your army through most of the base. Now on this particular attack, the 2 jumps are going to be used from right here and right here. So you can see that will give the core push access basically to all of this area inside of the base. Okay, and from that area, ranged troops like witches and bowlers will actually be able to reach buildings over the sides of that and actually able to reach really all this stuff in here. So opening up access to most of the base is vital on these types of attacks, and you can usually get that done using 2 jumps, although sometimes you can get it done using only 1 jump. Just depends on the type of base. So second thing you want to look at, all right, first of all, you got to be able to path your core push through most of the base, and we can do that by using those 2 jump locations that we showed right here. So now we got to look at the edges of the base. Are these edges going to be witchable or healer witchable or queen walkable? Okay, first thing to look at for witches is going to be splash damage buildings. Splash damage like wizard towers, to some extent mortars, and also bomb towers. Where's the bomb tower on this? Okay, bomb tower's actually in here in the core. So sorry about that. I could not find it at all. Those type of buildings are going to make skeletons disappear, and skeletons tank for the witches. So if this wizard tower takes out a group of skeletons right here, then this archer tower is just going to kill the witch. Okay, so splash damage is the enemy of witches because it erases those skeletons that tank for them really, really fast. Now, just like splash damage is the enemy of witches, air defenses are the natural enemy of healers. So an air defense will target and take down healers very fast. Now, air defenses on the edge, like this one and this one, can be reached from a queen walking this way. Reached very easily. She's going to be able to take out those air defenses before they can take out her healers. But if we're walking a queen down this direction right here, she's going to be able to take out that air defense and that air defense. But this one right here is going to cause some issues. If you look at the spacing there, that one is 4 tiles back from this wall. That means the queen cannot target it. If it was out to like right here, if there was no wall space there and it was buttoned right up to that cannon, the queen would be able to reach that air defense before it could reach her healers, and it wouldn't be an issue. But since there's these 3 tiles, 3 tiles in that cannon compartment and the wall, or 3 tiles in a space, 4 tiles back from a wall, she cannot reach it. It will reach her healers. So those are the kind of things that you have to take into account when you're adding healers on a side or witches on a side. Now on this particular base, this air defense is pretty far back there, all right? So the queen walk over here is going to be fairly safe until this area, but if you can get bowlers, witches, king into that core to get this air defense down in time before the queen gets there, then it's not going to be an issue. But you know, since it's later on in the raid, even if you don't quite get it down with that core push, you still might have enough of this base gone already that it's not going to matter too much. We'll see that a little more on the next one, but that's a basic idea. All right, so this side over here, if you look at this side over here, we got no air defenses whatsoever over there. So throwing healers on witches or a queen over on this side of the base right over here, going to be just fine. There's really nothing to target those healers, nothing to really take them out. So that's kind of the idea moving through this base. So this side is going to have a queen walk with 4 healers, and this side is going to have a few witches with just 1 healer, but at least you know that healer's not going anywhere. So let's get into this replay now that we've drawn it out. So now that we've drawn out the plan and you guys kind of know what's going to happen, let's take a look at the core push, okay? I'll go ahead and press play on this just to kind of get it going. That queen walk starting right where we said she was going to walk. And those witches are starting up top with the 1 healer just like we talked about. Now what's left in this composition is the core push. All right, golem to tank. King is also going to help tank. Also 4 witches. There was like 6 wizards in there. Try to get those buildings taken out soon. And those wizards are also going to help kill any of those air targeting things coming out of the CC, because the queen's not in there to help with, you know, dragons, baby dragons, that sort of thing, loons. She's going to be going around the sides. You got to make sure you have enough firepower that can target air, witches and wizards, be able to take out that CC just fine. Also, bowlers in the CC, very common, very necessary on this style of attack, because if you can get those raged bowlers in there doing those bowler bounce damage, you can get that core hollowed out fast. And if you can get the core hollowed out fast, that's going to provide a lot of tanking for your witches and your queen on the edges. You're going to get the base taken out just fine. So actually use that rage and heal a lot earlier than usual. Here, let's zoom in. And the reason for that is there's a Tesla farm on the outside. There was a double cannon. There was an archer tower. There was an expo. So if you look at that area, that was a ton of damage on the very entry of this base with not a lot of damage in the core. Not a lot. So usually you're going to save that rage heal for the core of the base. But on this particular base, there was a lot more damage at the entry than there was in the core. So we used the heal and the rage early to get through that very dangerous section. So we've actually got a couple witches that decided to go around with the queen on that side. So the healer's kind of switching off between them. But luckily the king gets down that air defense, that trouble air defense that we were talking about. The one that could have posed a big risk to these 4 healers. You don't want that many healers getting taken out, because that's a lot of troop space. You know, 4 healers is a lot of troop space. And if they get taken out early, you're not going to get the kind of value that you need out of them. In this case, the core push gets down the air defense. So really nothing's going to have a chance to target those healers, and as a result they're going to be the main cause of finishing this raid. Okay, this other flank up here kind of died out. I think only 2 witches went around that way, and with just 1 healer it wasn't quite enough to stay alive. But if you look at those 4 healers on the bottom, you know, it's going to look like the queen's the star of this raid, and she is, but those 4 healers that are keeping her up through the entire raid are just as important, because without those she doesn't get to finish this entire base like she's going to do right now. So also 4 witches in there doing a little bit of damage, a little bit of tanking, you know, and that helps. But witches are slow. They really are. Sometimes it can take them forever to clean up, you know, 10, 11 buildings. So having the queen still going on the outside, she's going to get through those buildings a lot faster than the witches would alone. Plus, he's still got the queen ability he can pop to get through those a little bit faster, or to get through a section that might have been troubling. And if you look at those healers, we've still got all 4 of those healers. Unless, you know, unless they hit a black bomb along the way. A black bomb will take out a healer. Oh, there we go. There goes a black bomb like we're just talking about, seeking air mine. But, you know, since he picked a smart side and got that 1 troublesome air defense out of the way, those healers are really the star of this raid. And, you know, if you're using healers on the right side of the base, avoiding that air defense fire, you're going to have great success with them. So now we're back over to you, Doodle, to take a look at this next base, and we're going to go ahead and kind of draw this out too. So let's look at splash damage first, because if we don't have any splash damage on an edge, then we could probably run witches with no healers down it, and they're probably going to do just fine. But we've got splash damage buildings covering every single edge of this base. So witches without healers, not going to be a good option. So now we're looking at healed witches, and or a healed queen. So now we got to look at the air defense placement. All right, so if you look at this air defense placement right here, the range on this guy actually goes like right out to the edge of this wall piece right here, but it doesn't cover a lot outside the wall. So this flank right here is going to be a fairly safe flank to run healed witches or a healed queen down. Now, if we look at this one right over here, this one has that 4-tile gap. Okay, and that is the troublesome gap, because that is the gap the queen cannot reach them. The witches definitely can't reach them, but it can definitely reach healers outside of that wall. So if we decide to run something down this side, you want to think about getting that air defense down before it has a chance to target the healers. That is doable. It definitely is, but you know, sometimes you hope your push is going to get that air defense down, and sometimes it doesn't. So if it was me, I don't know, I might end up trying to run a queen down this side with more healers, just because those healers are really going to stay safe. But at the same time, 1, 2, 3 defenses, 4, I guess, if you count this on this whole side. I don't know, I guess it's kind of comparable. But if you look at this king range here, that king really might kill a lot of witches, because this wizard tower can take out the skellies, and the king is going to come over and one-shot your witches. So if you look into it a little bit more, you kind of realize that if you're going to run something down this side, it's going to have to be the queen, because she's the only one strong enough to take out that king and wizard tower duo. So there you go. There's kind of the basic idea for this tack. Now let's look at the core push. How are you going to get through this base? Obviously you can use a jump right here, and another one right here. Of course, you could just use one right here, but that's not going to open up as much of the base. So if you stagger the jumps, cover a little bit of extra area, you're going to open up quite a bit more of this base to those jump spells. And hopefully bowler bounces, witches, or wizards are going to be able to take out this air defense before it becomes a problem for the queen. So that's kind of the idea going into this base. Now let's take a look at the replay. Hey, if any of you guys are new to the channel, if you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Throw a thumbs up on this one if you like it, if it's been helpful at all. And turn on that notification bell if you don't want to miss any more videos, because I'm putting out new Clash videos for you guys every single day. Now let's go ahead and press play on this attack. We kind of talked about this top side, why it wasn't a good option for witches, because that combination of the king and wizard tower is really dangerous for them. The wizard tower will kill the skellies, while the king one-shots the witches. So he ends up putting his queen up there, even though we've got that air defense that can be dangerous for that queen walk. Now this bottom section is pretty safe for healers, so he uses 4 witches and 1 healer on that flank. That leaves him with 4 witches, several wizards, and of course the golem and king for tanking, and the bowlers behind for that rage heal to get as much damage as possible in that core. Once again, he plays that rage and heal pretty early. That just kind of depends on how much tanking you have left going into the base, how soon you want to place those, or if you want to be a little bit more patient and play those once those troops are in the core. So we got that CC taken care of. It was a hound, so then that's challenging for witches, wizards, queen that can target air troops, because they have a ton of HP and there's a lot of pups to take care of. But in this case, he had so many wizards and witches, they managed to get those pups cleaned up pretty fast. Now I'm going to pause it right here, because this attack's getting way ahead of me. We talked about this air defense here being a problem, and sure enough, it is. His troops kind of went the other way. They're not targeting it soon enough, and it's already starting to snipe some of those healers. Now, if you look at it, he had a skeleton spell, and he played it over here on the X-bow. I would not have played it there. I would have played it on this side of this air defense over here, because the wizard tower can't reach it on the other side of this air defense. And the air defense is the one that you really want to get down, because it's taking out those healers right now. Luckily, some bowlers and witches finally come over into the core far enough to get it taken out, but it has a chance to take out 2 healers before it gets taken out. I really love bringing the skeleton spell as the extra spell. Really nice utility spell there. Honestly, it could have gotten their air defense down by the time only one of those healers was dead. But that being said, I mean, even though those 2 healers are down, the core push is still alive. That 1 healer from the bottom has transferred to the core. We just got, TH9 has got a ton of troops up left. So even though some of those healers got targeted, it wasn't the end of the world. Still has more than enough troops to get this base wrecked. So if you guys are taking a look at the elements on the outside of the bases and the pathing that you need to jump your troops through that base, you're going to have a lot of success with this attack, because it is. It's a very powerful attack, especially if you have decent level heroes. Now, I wouldn't recommend using a queen walk around the edges if your queen is less than level 20, unless it's kind of a weaker base. Really, queen walks are something that's really fun to get into once you have your queen at level 20, and of course, the higher you can get, all the way up to max at level 30 is better. You know, the higher the better, definitely. She's going to move faster, she has more HP, she moves faster because she does more damage to buildings. She doesn't walk faster, but she destroys buildings faster, and so that will cause her to move down the base faster overall. So there you guys have it. This is a really strong strategy at Town Hall 9. You know, and I mean, it's a spammy kind of a strategy, yeah, but without planning, honestly, you're still going to wreck some bases with it. But if you plan it well, you're going to have a ton of success with it. I remember Beth, you know, back when Town Hall 9s were a thing in WHF, she had like an astronomical hit rate at 9v9 using Witch Slap variants. You know, it's just that strong. If you focus on it and if you plan it well and you execute skilled Witch Slap attacks, you're going to be almost unstoppable. It's just that powerful. So I hope you guys have been able to take this stuff that we learned together in this video and apply it to your Town Hall 9 war attacks. And you know what? I'll see you guys in the next video.
Nerf this!